Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today I am going to show you how to turn a bookbinding card into a Z-fold card. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have two different ways that you can turn a bookbinding card into a Z-fold card. Now, the cards in this video feature a variety of products from the Nature's Sweetness collection from Stampin' Up. So I'll be using the Notes of Nature bundle, which includes a stamp set and a coordinating die set. And I will also be using the Lovely and Sweet bundle, which also includes a stamp set and a coordinating die set. Okay, so first let's talk about the bookbinding design for a fun fold card. So it really is just a basic fun fold. It has a little 1 1/4 inch score line right here that kind of creates the look of a binding or a book binding. And then this is the inside of the card. So it's a very simple design. Now you can take this design and easily turn it into a Z-fold style bookbinding card. So I'm going to show you how simple it is to create just an alternate way of using the bookbinding design in your card making. So you're going to start out with a piece of cardstock which is cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And we're going to place this in our paper trimmer and we're going to do some scoring. So the first thing we're going to do is just create a standard card base. So we're going to score it at 5 1/2 inches. The next thing we're going to do is scoot this down to 4 1/4 inches. And when we score here, this creates that bookbinding section for the card. So if you were just going to create a card like this with this little bookbinding section, that's all the scoring that you would do. But we are going to make the little Z-fold section for this card. So we're going to scoot this down to 2 1/8 inch, and we're going to make a score line there. So 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 5 1/2 inches. Those are the score lines that we need to turn our bookbinding card into a Z-fold card. Now that we have completed the scoring, we are ready to fold on all these score lines. So I'm just going to fold the card in half first. So that's on the 5 1/2 inch score line. Then this is that 4 1/4 inch score line. So we'll fold that. And right under that score line is where we are going to add some glue. So if you want to create a bookbinding card, you are going to add some glue to this 1 1/4 inch section here. And we're just going to adhere that down to the base of the card. All right, so this is your standard bookbinding card. But we have another score line here. So that's that 2 1/8 inch section, and we're just going to fold it back onto itself so that we end up with this little Z-fold section. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece of cardstock. It's the same color as the base of the card, and this will get adhered to this fun fold flap right here to create our Z-fold card. But before I do that, I need to do some stamping on this piece. So I'm going to be using a variety of different images from the Notes of Nature stamp set. So I'm going to be stamping in pecan pie, so it's the same color as my cardstock. And we're just going to add some random images here on this little piece. So once you have completed your stamping, then you can just go ahead and decorate this piece any way you want. So I just have a 3/4 inch wide by 3 inch piece of just a little scrap piece of designer paper. And I'm just going to add that on the bottom. And then I stamped a little greeting just on a 3/4 inch wide by 2 1/2 inch piece of white cardstock. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just add a fun little element. So I cut this right out of the Nature's Sweetness Designer Series paper. So one of the dies from the Lovely and Sweet bundle cuts out this particular image. So I'm just going to use it and pop it up right here in the center. So now I have the focal point ready for my card. So let me show you how to put this card together. Okay, so now that I have completed all my stamping on this piece, I want to adhere it to the fun fold flap on this card. So this is the Z-fold section of the card. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue to this section. And we're only going to be adhering part of this piece. So I'm just going to line it up so that it matches up with the edge, with the left edge of that fun fold section. And that is what creates the Z-fold section for this bookbinding card. So now I'm just going to finish decorating it. So I'm just going to fold this part over and I'm going to decorate this part of the card. So I just have a 1 by 4 inch piece of designer paper that I'm putting here. And then I cut 2 pieces of designer paper, which are 1 7/8 by 4 inches. And so I'm just going to adhere those to each of these 2 sections of the card. All right, so we'll open this back up and then we will open up the card this direction. So I'm just gonna fold this underneath, just tuck it underneath so that you can see this part of the card. Okay, so to decorate the inside, I'm just gonna go from left to right. So I have a 1 by 4 inch piece of pattern paper that I just put on the inside here. And then I have another 1 7/8 by 4 inch piece of just a different pattern. And that's gonna go on this section here. And then I have a 4 by 4 inch piece of white cardstock. So this will go right in the middle here. And then the last thing I did is just add a 1 by 4 inch piece of just another pattern. So the great thing about this particular paper is it all coordinates together. So we'll just add this piece to the right side of the white cardstock. And the reason we're doing that is because when you close this card, you'll be able to see that designer paper on both sides. So you have your bookbinding on this side. You have this little pop-out section here, which creates the Z-fold style card. So that's really it. And I added the designer paper just to kind of finish it off. You know, you don't really see all of this designer paper per se, but if someone was going to stand it up for display or something, I just kind of felt like it needed to have designer paper on all those panels. And of course, I'd love to show you that you can use this design either in landscape style like I have here, or you can decorate it in the portrait style like I have here. So it's the exact same measurements to create the base. In this case, I just switched out the colors. So here I used Pecan Pie, here I used Pebbled Path, but the concept for creating the card base is exactly the same. The only thing I changed was the orientation of the card as I decorated it. Okay, so there you go. Now you have 2 different ways that you can use this fun fold design in your card making. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.